Alright everyone, how are we getting on? Not bad from Celtic yesterday, not a bad day overall. The festive period, Stevie's staying up late, he's... what are you drinking, Stevie?
You put Baileys on, don't you? Oh, aye. A beautiful Irish cream. Don't worry about that.
I'm more at the slightly hungover phase, Stevie, so that's why I've come up onto my roof, 12 stories up, to look around the city and feel better about myself. Although things are good Celtic-wise. You've had a fun old day, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. What a day. Woke up as bad as you, hungover, a wee second sleep sorted me out. Went along to Celtic Park and just one of the ones where I just needed to get out of the house, you know. I was glad I went. Good to see the people all around about me again in the row. And aye, the second half was much more like it after the dudge at the weekend, wasn't it? Didn't get it all our own way in the first half, but the main thing was what we talked about: Celtic getting 3 points, but we also recorded a pretty convincing scoreline, and that's great going into Sunday. And it's even greater because a certain team that we definitely never criticise and talk about blew it again today. Yeah, I could have swore they were back as well, but I'll drink to that, Hamish.
Right, let's actually kick off, because this is weird when this happens, Stevie, but let's go back a few hours, because you did record a wee 3-minute or so post-match reaction from outside a very wintry looking Celtic Park.
Evening, Hamish. Hello to all the audience, and a very belated Merry Christmas to you all. Hope you all had a great day. I did, and amazingly enough, I made it along to Celtic Park despite my terrible hangover this morning. A second sleep sorted me out, so I was okay. Didn't notice I was doing a reads there. I was looking at the other way instead of actually the camera, so I'll try and sort my life out there. But yeah, I can't wait to go home, so I'll make this as short and sweet as possible. After Celtic 4, Motherwell 0, didn't think it was going to turn out like that. Maybe 40 minutes into the game, I was saying to people, where's this goal going to come from? I think Motherwell's stuffiness and dogginess get broken down with the Arne Engels goal, but more importantly, the Daizen Maeda header well and truly ended them. And it came after Motherwell could have made it 1-1. They very nearly equalised. And you know what? See, for like, I'd say the majority of that first half as well, very much a lot like the Dundee United game. Lack of creativity really in the centre of the park, and I think Motherwell were just aiming for us to play it out wide to Yang again, much like Dundee United did, and also Daizen Maeda, who I thought was marshalled pretty well with Motherwell's number 21. But yeah, the key one was just the second goal. It really knocked the stuffing out of them, and I really felt that when our better players came on, we upped the tempo and we looked a lot better as a team. Nicholas Kuhn coming on, doing what he does, scoring a goal. Although, you know what, okay, he did get a wee bit lucky with the deflection, but it's the fact that he was trying something. You know what I mean? All first half we didn't have players that would actually take a gamble outside the box. Kuhn did, and look what happens. Ball deflects in past the goalie, and then I thought Rio Hatate, who seems to be far better off the bench now, really good goal to make it 4-0, Hamish. And I guess in the end, no complaints about the scoreline. I think Celtic definitely deserved the 3 points. Motherwell for nothing other than that with a chance for the corner that could have made it one each. But other than that, you know, Kasper Schmeichel was really untroubled. Man of the match was Arne Engels, but I thought it was CCV. I thought he came in, slotted back in so well, and was very solid for us. With anything he had to do, real commanding presence as ever. And yeah, really good to have him back ahead of the game against Rangers at Ibrox. Same for Kuhn. But overall, no complaints at all. Glad I got there to Celtic Park today, but I am dying to get up the road. Made a trip to the Superstar, got a mug because I left my other mug in work, and I flew left my workplace, so I can't go and get it. Might have to give a couple of people a wee shout, but I think a cleaner's probably nabbed it. Tragic stuff in this festive period for me. I know, but I'm not going to make it all about me turning into a victim here. The main thing is Celtic got the 3 points, and it was a comfortable scoreline in the end. On to Sunday, hopefully we do the same against a team that we all know I've got no time for. Hamish, I guess we'll speak later on tonight.
Yep, so it was an interesting game, I thought, Steve. We start with Celtic. We can come on and have a laugh at our two nearest title challengers, who both had hilarious results on Thursday. Yeah, kind of strange game, finished really well, and I think we all go away from the match feeling excellent because you know, the subs came on and the team really played some good stuff. Scored 3 goals in the second half. I think if the game went on another 10 or 15 minutes, we'd have scored more. Nearly scored with the last kick of the game, which would have been a great goal. but the first half was kind of not quite as good. So it's kind of an interesting one to sum up, but you probably feel really good coming away from that.
Yeah, definitely. I think the main thing was seeing a reaction from the weekend. Celtic, rightly or wrongly, depending on your way of looking at it, the type of fan you are, had their critics. I was certainly one of them, although I wasn't in red alert
You weren't
mode
running
or
away
anything,
from group chats or anything like that, were you?
I don't know. Mate, I need to go in now, right? Be back in a wee minute. Don't know what you're talking about. Listen, look, the main thing is we've all got high standards with Celtic, but I did say while the performance annoyed me, wasn't a case of losing the head or anything, and the reaction today was good. But I think what was even better today, there was shades of that Dundee United performance in the first half, but the team never panicked at all. The team never stopped finding a way to probe Motherwell and get in behind them. And we eventually did through, I would say Yang's enthusiasm, really. Now, I think in this particular subject, where I was sitting, have to say it did look like a soft penalty. However, I put out a wee poll on the account, and overwhelmingly people said it was a stonewaller. We're now at Hamish, right? We're now at we're at 20 to 11 at night, and I've not watched the highlights because the reason is I'm doing it in an order tonight where I'm going to watch Match of the Day and I'm going to watch good old sports scene, and I'm staying up for it. So I want to watch it all the football, that way, and really enjoy it. So I didn't go on the good old YouTube and everything like that. So that's why. But from what people said to me, it was indeed a stonewaller, and I'll no doubt let you intervene here. But the main thing really was there was no a lot of panic, and we still continued to, press Motherwell. We continued to harass them, and again tried to get in behind, and that's where we got our first goal, basically, just through the fact that we capitalised on their stupid mistakes, really.
Yeah, it was a penalty. Yeah, it was a penalty. I mean, the Yang's taken out. I know they checked it for VAR. VAR had a kind of a few involvements in the game today, didn't it? But definite penalty, and I think it came at a really good time for us because, don't get me wrong, I think we'd have been fine regardless, even if we went in 0-0 at half time. I think you'd probably seen enough in the first half, and knowing the players we had to come off the bench, we'd kind of have found a breakthrough. But getting that goal just before half time just settles everyone down. The first goal is always so important. If you can get it in that first half, the game just opens up in the second half, and we definitely saw that. But Arne Engels tucks away the penalty well. Were you saying he got the man of the match award? I thought he was really good, Arne Engels, and good with the ball, really good without the ball as well. I thought he won the ball back a good few times, just real energy. And I know Brendan Rodgers spoke after the game about maybe taking Engels out of the team for a couple of matches, which he certainly did, and I think he said it's taking a bit of the pressure off Engels, which I thought was an interesting comment, because this guy came into the club and was like, he was excellent when he first came in. Like, remember, it's your record signing, by the way. Comes in, and the start he made to life at Celtic with scored in his first start, scored in his second start, which was a Champions League game, and generally just played really well. I remember that Bratislava game, he was excellent, and I think everyone was so excited, and no one was talking about Matt O'Reilly, which, by the way, is a daft comparison because they're very different players. And then he just hits the natural dip that I think was always going to happen, and I think at that point, when you could see he's struggling for confidence maybe a little bit, just not doing the things naturally, that's where good management comes in from Brendan Rodgers. Take him out of the team, certainly out the starting lineup for a few matches, and just let him kind of watch from the sidelines and settle into things. And then I just sensed against Dundee United, even though it wasn't a great team performance, and I know he had that chance late on, I just sensed he was kind of ready to go again. And you then start him. I felt he would start the game against Motherwell, and I thought he was really good. And I don't know if you won't have seen his press conference after the game, but it's on the Celtic YouTube channel. He's such a mature guy as well. Like, he's really level-headed, he's driven, but he's calm as well. Nothing really phases him. So I really like Arne Engels. He's going to be absolutely fine for us, but I was really pleased with his performance.
Yeah, see, this is one of the times that we'll maybe disagree, not fully, but I didn't think in the first half he was all that involved in the play. I thought he was a wee bit anonymous, if truth be told, but I didn't think he had a terrible game or that. Thought he took it, by the way, the main thing is he took his penalty so well, really composed, tucked it away superbly, and he's definitely main man when it comes to the spot kicks, no doubt about it. Total confidence whenever he's taking one for us. I think as well, I've touched on it, but again today, those set pieces that he takes, so dangerous. The way that he whips a ball in, just so difficult to defend, and yeah, I can understand to an extent, why they got that man in the match with his involvements today. I just feel in the first half though, and it wasn't just him. McGregor and Bernardo as well weren't fully involved or creative enough, I felt, to break Motherwell down. It was a lot of reliance on the wings. Like Maeda was essentially being forced as a man to sort of unlock Motherwell more than anything. And I felt Motherwell's number 21, who I said in the video, had a really good game against Maeda. It was a fantastic battle. Yang, in fairness, after the criticism at the weekend, I thought that his attitude was spot on. Quality, maybe not so much, but again, he does win the penalty. But regarding with Engels, though, I would agree on him, the fact that I don't think I'm going to panic over him. I've already said that I'm an Engels fan on here. I think some of the criticism has been warranted. But yeah, it's one of the ones where I think after today, hopefully he will kick on. The game against St Johnstone now is huge for him because he scored a goal, had a big part in the second. He'll likely be playing from the start against St Johnstone too. They're a team in terrible form. We should be beating them, Hamish. We should be going to walk over the top of them. And I honestly do feel like Arne Engels should be looking at that game to sort of solidify his place for the match against Rangers and just dominate it, basically.
Is he in your team for Ibrox as things stand?
Now,
because Hatate's in your team, isn't he? For Ibrox.
Well, I still don't know. Chopping and changing all the time on that one, so I'm very indecisive here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good it's a good problem to have. It's great with all these games, but I don't know at the moment as it stands. I think McGregor, Hatate, and a toss up between Engels and Bernardo. I think you get two really good players there, so it's good.
Bernardo needs to start for me alongside Callum McGregor. Okay. The only the reason I say that now maybe it's Engels is because we'll come on to it later on, but I feel Hatate coming off the bench offers far more than now than when he starts, like he did today. I thought he was magnificent when he came on. And historically at Ibrox, he's really only had like one good 45 minutes. Other games at Ibrox, he's like sort of flattered to deceive.
Whereas him coming on, I remember him playing too many games at Ibrox.
I can. There's been a few. I won't bore you with them, but there's been a few. But as I say, it probably would be Engels now. But say Hatate has an absolute screamer on Sunday. So many questions, and it's like you're right. It's a great position for the manager to be in.
Yeah, your point of Hatate's an interesting one, and I do agree. I mean, Hatate was excellent when he came on, wasn't he? His goal was brilliant. He was involved. He looked confident off the bench. I mean, those three subs we made with Kyogo, Kuhn, and Rail coming on, just took the team to a different level. I felt we can probably touch on each of them, but Hatate, like he's better when the game opens up. Remember we saw that in the cup final. Like he really came on to a game in extra time. I think when he's just got that bit more space against tired legs, and he's such a calm player, and he can kind of position his body. And maybe when you get to those later stages, as I say, players are tired and they don't necessarily want to make those kind of lung busting runs back. He can just kind of glide past players, and I think we saw that a bit against Motherwell. Certainly saw it in the cup final against Rangers, even though he started that game. But he was excellent, great goal. Nicholas Kuhn is just brilliant though as well. Like the amount of balls in his half an hour in the park that were like lofted away up in the air to him. Luke McCown had one that he just scooped up into the air, and Kuhn just took it down. There was one where he chested it and nicked it over a guy, and he's just a joy to watch. His goal wasn't particularly pretty, but as you say, or you said in your video earlier, the fact that he took it on, he probably got his reward for that.
Yeah, that's the one thing we've seen from Kuhn is he loves to gamble, doesn't he? Like Kuhn's not a safe, cautious player. Like he will take a risk. And I love seeing that. And when he came on, it was great to see that again, because we really missed that spark against Dundee United. And when we came on today, I actually said to the boy next to me, who was in place of the usual guy, who talking as if it's a substitute here. You know what I mean? But I know it's just there. The usual guy was had a hangover, so I didn't keep the boy
Christmas.
next to me. Aye, But the boy next to me was saying as well that when Kuhn came on, he said he was excited because we're probably going to go up a level or two, and we did. And as I say, he's not cautious. He takes his chance, scores, and we didn't do that all first half. And that's what you're going to get for Kuhn. As soon as he cuts inside, you know that something is going to happen. Sometimes he's guilty of maybe taking a touch where he shouldn't, and he should release it quicker. But that again, that's like a Honesty's game, isn't it? He's still got to be refined there. But generally, when he comes on, something is exciting. You're going to get a bit more excitement in the play, and that's what we saw today. It's the levels went right up, and that was also when Hatate came on as well. Both of them just ran the show basically.
He's so quick, Kuhn, isn't he? And like it's weird. I never think of him as being like this flying machine because he's like so good with his feet. But there was a moment again in the game where he just completely rinsed a Motherwell player down the line, and he's just excellent. I'm so glad he's back as well. I was a bit concerned about that injury when he missed Tannadice, and the manager wasn't giving a lot away, mainly because he didn't have a press conference before this game. But delighted Kuhn's back because Yang tries hard, and I thought he was fine. But Kuhn's just obviously a different level of player.
I think there's a difference.
Oh, the sun's come out, Stevie.
Shut up. How are you to? There's a difference, that's all very good with a player that tries hard and he's honest. And that's fine. But when you've got a guy like Kuhn who is naturally talented as well, and by the way, he does work so hard, what a difference it is when you see him on. And he's just such a key to unlocking teams. And I'm excited to see it. Hopefully he will start against it. You want to play your strongest team on Sunday, get into that game in the second. So
surely rest a few, no?
I want to see you start the game with the strongest team, have that game won in the first half, then bring on the subs. Just me. Best team has to start the game. Kuhn's definitely in that.
Any other takeaways? Motherwell, etc. They've got a few pretty quick players, Motherwell. Like they had a couple of counter-attacks where they drove through. The left winger, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. I think he was maybe at Leicester previously. He looks a pretty good player. He was the one that was booked, wasn't he, for diving earlier in the game. But Motherwell looked kind of alright.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Hamish, I thought the number 21, the right back, fascinating battle with Daizen Maeda today. I thought he played very well. And I know the player that you're on about, the number 55 too. He had like this, he broke away, and at one point Motherwell were, I think, maybe a 3-on-2. But again, just like our supposed title rivals, they couldn't capitalise on the advantage there. But I thought Motherwell did their job for the most part in the first half. They came in to frustrate. It was like right out the Jim Goodwin sort of Lobig, wasn't it? But aye, that's the one. But the penalty at that time pretty much does them. If they go in 0-0 at half time, who knows? But chances are at Celtic Park, with the players that we've got on the bench to come on, we would have broken them down eventually. I don't think they're going to be judged on that type of display. But I think individually they had some decent performers. But ultimately, when you're a team coming to Celtic Park and you're looking to waste time and you're taking a minute for a throw-in, when it comes to goal kicks, you're taking like 30 seconds longer than you should be. Ultimately, you're going to get all that added on time and it's going to go against you. I don't know why teams do it. Motherwell were guilty of it today. And we saw what happened. Eventually worked against them. Any
other comments on specific players or anything before we go and have a laugh at a couple of clubs?
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. CCV, I thought, came in. As I said in the video, I just want to give him a shout out again. Just a real presence, and I keep saying it. I mean, we could be talking every week when Cameron Carter-Vickers plays, and I'll say the same thing, but it's so true that anytime he has got the ball, there's a real sort of Cameron presence to him that that generally, you're going to be in safe hands. Even today with Schmeichel, seen him fairly animated in Sunday, for example, a couple of times on TV, but today didn't seem anywhere like near as sort of animated as he sometimes gets. I think because he probably knows that with somebody with a CCV in front of him for a game like this, he's going to have absolutely little to do. That said, there was a big point that Motherwell nearly actually did score from the corner at 1-0. So, it could have been an also different second half if that goes in. Don't know how the crowd would have reacted, but I just wanted to say again with CCV, thought it was great, and it was my personal man in match. Didn't put a foot wrong at all today.
We're nearly in January and we've still only conceded 4 league goals. all season. Like it's a truly remarkable record considering what we're on for the rest of the season.
I know, but we're cheats, mate. We're cheats. Remember, we don't do it by the book, and I'm sure that every other team will have to complain how much we're ruining Scottish football. There'll be a fault in how we do things, of course.
Yes, indeed. Right, okay, that was Celtic 4, Motherwell 0. I watched that. Very good, enjoyable stuff. I then went on my wee score app that I use and got a lovely wee surprise. Well, 2 surprises, actually. Kilmarnock 4, Aberdeen 0. I mean, just briefly, I think that ambulance must be for Jimmy Tilleen, because what has happened? Do you like that one, eh?
I did, it was funny, aye. I'm probably just drunk, mate. So I'm going to just have another wee one to make sure, right?
Yeah, Aberdeen are... they've gone, haven't they? I think it's like no wins in 7. I mean, did we do that to them? Was it St Mirren did that to them? St Mirren seem to do that to a few teams.
Well, could I said what about Aberdeen's health now? But yeah, I mean, either way, they're done. Finished. The bubble was burst, and I think luckily for them, they made that good start, so they probably have cemented a top 6 finish. Oof, but I think they definitely need to get players in January. But it is funny because the media were going overboard, weren't they? After that fortunate 2-2 draw at Celtic Park, and I think it's between us and St Mirren that have pretty much broken them after these 2 wins in a week.
Yep, and the second great surprise was our nearest challengers in the league, who were coming to get us, and their fans were putting out tweets and whatever else. The blueprint to winning the league. We keep winning. We'll turn up. We'll beat them on the 2nd of January, and suddenly we'll only be maybe 3 points behind them, and it's all to play for in the second half of the season. And what would you know? Very next game, they go to St Mirren right after we've dropped points, and they lose. And they lose courtesy of a last-minute screamer from Caelan Boyd Munce after some great defending from Sterling, was it? And they had a few really poor moments in that game. So St Mirren 2, Rangers 1. We're 12 points clear, Stevie. It's great.
Bro, you know what? It's very easy, isn't it? To sit here and laugh at your nearest rivals that just can't lay a glove on you. Do you know what? It's enjoyable too. No, honestly, like, unsurprisingly, yes, I did sit and watch the game because I had nothing better to do. And I did say all week, I actually say to Rizzo, say to a few others, the way St Mirren have been playing, they won the last 2 games and they scored goals late in injury time. And I said I wouldn't be shocked if St Mirren done us a turn and got a result here. And they did. And stupidly, but not surprisingly, I didn't put anything on it. So I deserve everything I get there. But that was a fantastic day of football today, Hamish. Celtic winning. The other 2 teams just blown it completely. And what an opportunity it is to potentially begin into that game at Ibrox now. Like, potentially 15 points clear. That is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of touched on it, but after that draw at Tannadice, and by the way, I noticed Brendan Rodgers again at his post-match press conference brought up someone saying it's not time to panic after Tannadice, and he said it was a Celtic fan had said it, and I'm pretty sure you used those words after the game on Sunday. So Brendan may well be watching. There's been a few wee signs. There was something earlier on in the season. Obviously, it could have been someone else saying it. Let's make it all about us, though, Stevie. Eh? It's all about Celtic AM.
I was say, mate. I think if you're trying to suggest that Brendan Rodgers listens to anything I've got to say, then you're probably right, mate.
But the point I was going to make is, after those drop points at Tannadice, you obviously get the reaction, and there was a fair bit of reaction. Listen, it's always going to happen with Celtic, but like Celtic just dust themselves down and kind of get on with it. There's no panic there in terms of inside the club, inside the dressing room. They just turn up and win. And Rangers are always going to falter. They're not consistent like us. I really didn't believe the hype of Rangers in recent weeks, and I was really surprised that they managed to go from this. The Rangers support I'm talking about, go from this place where they were basically all wanting Philippe Clement out after they lost to Killie and Aberdeen, and remember they drew against Dundee United, and then somehow with maybe a couple of European wins, the draw against Spurs, a few big wins domestically, suddenly the and I guess the cup final as well, where they were obviously cheated, Stevie, by the officials. They suddenly had this kind of mindset of, right, Philippe Clement might be working with something here, we're improving, we're coming to get Celtic. No, the reality is that this is not a good Rangers team. Rangers will continue to drop points. This is a really good Celtic team, and we'll continue to win games. And we're going to win the league, I would say, relatively comfortably. I guess the Ibrox game is still a pretty big one, but clearly it's an absolute must-win for them to have any chance of winning the league. A draw is still a good result for us, but if you go there and win, and bear in mind they've got Motherwell away in their next game, which is not what you want after having just lost to St Mirren away and looking fragile, and we've got the poorest team in the league at home. Things could be looking incredibly good in a week's time. But as I say, beat St Johnstone, and if we get a draw at Ibrox, I would be relatively content with that. But it's going to be a fun week, Stevie.
It's going to be a great week. Looking forward to it after today. And I'm sure me and you, if Celtic do the business and avoid defeat at Ibrox, and some other results go away, I'm sure me and you definitely won't be doing another video like this where I embarrass myself, getting steaming, watching the Beastie Boys, and you're away in some other stupid location to do a video. I'm sure that definitely won't happen.
What else is happening, Stevie? Good Christmas, plenty of Baileys. I've never had Baileys in my life.
Oh, it's beautiful. I like it. I only got into it in the last couple of years as well. I know Christmas was good though, Hamish. Had a great time with the family. Really, really enjoyable. Obviously, listening to the Beastie Boys, time off work to the 6th of January. And the main thing is, there was a couple of Celtic bits of merchandise at your spot. My uncle got me this, which I'm sure that you'll enjoy.
Oh,
and I had the top. Oh yeah. And then the top that I had, the jacket on the video today, my granny got me that. And amazingly enough, right, it doesn't look as if it keeps you warm, but it's 3 layers or something inside it. So things were good. Things were great. Didn't let the side down when it came to getting my gimmick of the Adidas gear, did I?
Yeah, I've still not got anything yet, so maybe we'll take a look at that as we go forward. I really like that, what you're wearing at the moment. It's beautiful colours. Thanks, Stevie. Appreciate you coming on, mate, and we'll catch up with you very soon. I don't know if we'll catch up with you again this year, but if not, have a lovely new year, and we'll speak to you soon after. We're going to continue with the videos here. I won't often be up here in the roof. There's just reasons why I'm up here. Melbourne behind me. You see that?
Sorry, Hamish, going to just tell me while we're here, why are you up in the roof?
We've got some people staying with us at the moment in the room that I usually use as being occupied by people, so I can't get in there to record, so I've come up to the roof. Windier than I thought it would be, but hopefully you've enjoyed the view of glorious Melbourne behind me, and hopefully you've enjoyed us chatting about Celtic moving 12 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Let me know what you thought about the game, what you thought about Rangers hilariously losing in Paisley, and I'll tackle all of those and more on tomorrow's video. I think I'm doing a video tomorrow. I've kind of lost track of what day it is. Speak to you then, everyone.